All right, hello. I'm Christopher Locke. I'm the IBPA Director of Membership and Member Services, and we're doing the Get to Know Your IBPA Member Benefits webinar series to give you all a more in-depth look at all of your amazing member benefits here at IBPA. Today, we are covering the member benefit for Dr. Rissi's Writing and Marketing. As today's presenter, we are lucky to have the owner of Gen Z Publishing and Dr. Rissi's Writing and Marketing, Dr. Marisha Schwartz. Hello.
Hello, thank you so much. That was an awesome intro.
All right. Well, I'm trying to give us some energy and excitement. Okay,
Woo!
I'm going to disappear, and you're going to take over. Enjoy.
Thank you, Christopher. Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm very excited. I was recently appointed to the IBPA Executive Board and on the editorial board. So love the IBPA, and I'm absolutely honored to be here and share this info with you. We're going to be focusing on TikTok, specifically for publishers, specifically on Book Talk. I've been using TikTok personally, going on 3 years this month. I love it. And my love for it was really, I saw how great of a tool it could be. I think it was proven to me when I went to Nashville with the IBPA board over the summer, and we toured the Ingram Spark facilities, and they were seeing the praises of Book Talk, saying, you know, they're more than ever, you can have great experiences, get a lot of great opportunities through Book Talk, through TikTok, but their subculture, their Book Talk, it's the hashtag. That presents a lot of great opportunities for authors and for publishers. This put a lot of control back in the authors and publishers' hands, where, you know, once upon a time, people would go into a bookshop and the books that they saw, that was their only options. Now, if I think of an idea, if I think, man, I'd really like to read a dystopian book about AI robots taking over the world, I can go onto Book Talk and type in some keywords, you know, AI dystopia. I'm going to find books written on that. So it's a bit more of demand creating the content, rather than before, where it was the content, you know, creating the demand. So it's a really cool time to be in publishing with you know, the opportunities presented from TikTok and Book Talk. All right, so these are a few things we're going to go over today: the basics, success, strategizing, how to go viral, and of course SEO stuff. So I want to dispel some myths. A lot of people think, oh, TikTok is just a bunch of teenage kids dancing and lip syncing to, you know, the latest top 100 Billboard song. Maybe a few years ago that was true. Maybe like 5 years ago. Well, definitely when it was Musically. But nowadays, I don't know the exact stat, but the majority of people on TikTok are over the age of 30. It even overtook Google in terms of popularity last year. And the really cool thing about TikTok is it's technically a search engine, right? You can search for topics, they're going to come up. It's great for SEO. So TikTok is an amazing tool all around. And whether I follow people who are attorneys, dentists, I follow a few UPS people talking about their routes and where your packages go. I follow scientists. I follow pretty much everybody you can imagine. I follow, they are there. So if you're thinking, my niche isn't on there, I'm too old, couldn't be further from the truth. Everybody, every group is represented on TikTok, and it's really cool. And it's a lot more personal than other platforms. I'm a big fan of Twitter as well, but let's face it, if you're reading text that somebody wrote just on Twitter, you're not getting as much of a feel for them as if you watch a video by the same person saying the same thing. There's some subtext there that you just don't get. So TikTok is a great tool for that. And you can use it in conjunction with the other tools that you're probably already using. Now it might be asking, okay, well, if I could see it being good for authors, what about publishers? I think it's great as a publisher as well. You can showcase your books, you can showcase your interests. I personally have a personal TikTok that I use, and I just talk about everything. I have a lot of eclectic interests, and I've had videos go viral for talking about the Canadian passports, that they glow under UV light. I've had videos go viral for talking about my favorite DC comics. I mean, I've had videos go viral where I shared text messages that my father sent me. Pretty much any topic you can think of, you can go viral for, and you're probably thinking, well, that has nothing to do with your books. It doesn't, but let's say somebody watches one of those videos and go, who is this person? She seems pretty interesting. They go into my bio and they click on my bio, and in my bio has all the information about Gen Z and our books, and they can see, oh, okay, yeah, it's an eclectic collection of books. So you can do the same thing. You don't have to, and probably shouldn't just talk about, hey, here's my book, purchase on Amazon. No, people want to see you. They want to be entertained. And if they like you enough or entertained enough, then they're going to go, let's learn more about this person. And I'll give you some examples after this. I'll show you my account, I'll show you a few other TikTokers and book talkers that are inspiring. So the few things to note is TikTok is, like I said, it's a full video search engine. I'm a big fan of rock music. I type in alternative rock, and since I search for that every week, they have a part where you can put how recently you want to see the videos. They have everywhere from within the past 3 months, within the past 3 weeks, within the past 3 days. I look every week, and it's all new videos every time. It's amazing. It's a super powerful search engine. It also has a great algorithm where it just understands you. It understands people. You don't have to necessarily tell it. You can, based on how you interact with videos and stuff, it's going to get you where you want to go. I didn't necessarily consciously say to myself, yeah, I wonder how UPS delivers my packages, but they gleamed, this girl online shops a lot. I bet she'd be interested in learning how those packages get to her. Like there's some intelligence there. It's pretty cool. And like I said, super popular. It was downloaded 2.6 billion times last year. There are a billion active users, and that number is still growing. So your niche, your people are there, or there. You can even build a community, and they'll likely find you. And a great example of that is there's this red-headed fellow, and the only reason I say that is because his username is called the Ginger Marketer. And when he first started, he was giving tips about marketing on Twitter. I didn't know anybody else who did that. There wasn't necessarily a niche or community around it. He created a community, and he now has like 120,000 followers, and he does speaking engagements, all this stuff. He built his own niche and community on there. So you can certainly build a community and niche around what you do. And he branded himself in a way that allowed people to remember. I remember his username because he branded it so well with, the first thing he does in his videos, he flips his red hair. That's his calling card. That's his branding. All right, so let's talk about some success on TikTok. First off, you want to figure out the kind of content that you want to publish. And like I said before, this is my profile. I will do some screen sharing in a little bit, but I'm not just talking about books. Both of these videos I posted around the time of the Olympics. Those are topical, right? I've never written or published a book on the Olympics, but the Olympics were certainly trending then. So this video, I took the screenshot right when I posted it. This video wound up getting like 600,000 views. They did well because they were on trending topics. They had some trending sounds used. And then you kind of funnel those folks in. Once they like these videos that have nothing to do with my books, then hopefully they'll click on this little bit.ly link and read about our books. It's all about creating a connection with your audience. I make intro videos every couple months, just reminding people who are following me, hey, I'm Marissa. This is what I do. I own a book publishing company. I own a marketing company. This is why you should follow me. I post a lot of fun content. This is what you can expect from my channel. Doing things like that really does help to engage your community. And think of something that will make your followers connect with your book and your story. So you don't necessarily have to be as eclectic as I can. You can talk, let's say I have an author who I work with who she has books on robots, and they're about this dystopian robot theme. And she has a channel devoted just to these robots. So she basically has the characters and she makes little animations of them. And it's a really cool way to promote her books. And she's not in their face. She's not constantly saying, hey, purchase these books with this character, but she's making these videos with these characters interacting. And then in her bio, she has the information on where to purchase her series of 3 books. So it's a really cool thing to promote your book in that way. I see a Q&A question. Let's see. Should you place your official video book trailer on TikTok? You can, but a lot of the time people will see it as an ad. My guess is if you posted something like that, you'll get maybe a few hundred views. Engagement won't be super high. Maybe you'll get, like a dozen likes or something. Maybe you'll get a sale or something. But usually what does better is indirect. Great example is I follow a few artists, and one of them published a book of her art. But in the video, she did a time lapse of herself drawing some of the pictures that were featured in her book. Now that was an ad, but it didn't feel like it because it was this time lapse. It was really neat to see her do that. And then at the very end, she had like a little, purchase my book here kind of thing. But she didn't. It wasn't a whole kind of trailer. What you could do, what I might do with the trailer is you could post it as one of your first videos and then pin it to the top of your profile. And in that way, if somebody is actively looking at your profile and visiting your profile, they'll see that, but it's not something that's going to be on the For You page all the time where they're just seeing that. They're going to, that will be one of the featured things. And I'll show you an example of that on my own page. And then Leonard asked what the best length for a video is. Back in the day, TikTok used to be almost the Vine method where people would post 10-second videos and they would do great. But now they've introduced 3-minute videos. So I've seen a lot of videos going a lot longer. What I suggest is when you're starting out, do videos that are like 20 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds. And then once you get a followership, then you can increase. You can go up to like a minute, 2 minutes, because the algorithm is looking for retention. They want people to stay on their app as long as possible. So if you have a video that's 2 minutes and your audience watches 1 minute and 45 seconds of it on average, they're going to push your video out more because you're helping to keep more people on their app for longer. So again, if you're just starting out though, 20 to 30 seconds is a good length to start. Thinking about, personally, some of the people I've worked with, the length of their videos that have worked best, starting out is about 20 to 30 seconds. And then once they start to gain a following, and by following, I mean like 10,000 or more followers, that's when we increase to 1 to 2 minutes on average. But, I'll throw a 30-second video in there and I'll repost videos all the time. Yeah. Oh, did I see another question? Is there any way to bring content to the US market if they're posted in a foreign country? Okay, so I'll read this question aloud. I would like to know if there's any way to bring content to the US market if they're posted from a foreign country from an account with an American number. The analytics always show local views. That's tough. Yeah, something, I've been seeing more and more international videos. Of course, with the tragedy in Iran, I've been seeing a lot of Iranian videos. I've been seeing a lot of videos from people in Australia and the UK lately. I don't know that it necessarily, if there's a way, actually, I'll tell you what way I found. I made videos specifically about countries. So when I made the video about the Canadian passport, I hashtag Canada. I used a song called Canada that's trending in Canada. And like 60% of people who watched that video were in Canada. So if you maybe make some specific videos geared towards a certain country, you might retain some followers from there, and then you can build that way and grow that way. That might be one way to do it, but otherwise it is tough being in one place and getting followers from or viewers from another country if you're not specifically doing content about them or for them. Is there a way sign in on business account from multiple phones? Yeah, you can always sign in from different devices on TikTok. I personally am signed in on my Mac right now, and my iPhone, and my mom's iPhone. You can totally do that. The only thing is that your drafts don't convert. They don't come over with you. So you can only have your drafts on one device. But yeah, you can definitely sign on multiple accounts. Okay, so here are a few. I'm going to get back to Q&A in a little bit, but I'm going to get through a few more slides because I might answer some of your questions. So I want to say, don't be afraid of the camera. Now, I know for some of us, especially writers, we like to type. We don't necessarily want to be in front of the camera, and that's okay. And I'll talk to you about some alternatives if you truly don't feel comfortable being in front of the camera. But if you think you might not be camera shy or that you can work your way into it, it is a good thing. Talking head videos where a person is basically like this, just talking to their camera. Those do better than pretty much any other kind of content on TikTok. People like people. They like seeing people. Great example. Let's say you're an author and you want to talk about the writing process. And in doing that, you are promoting your own book, because now people are going to go, I want to know what book this person wrote. But you're also giving advice, right? So I made a video talking about, I wrote my first memoir when I was in college. Here's how I did. Here's what I wish I knew if I were to do that again. Doing that, people saw me. They saw my personality. Whereas if I would have written that, if it was like a LinkedIn post or a tweet, people would have gotten it, but they wouldn't have gotten the same effect. Actually seeing my facial expression, seeing me talk about being rejected by 98 book publishing companies, and then finally getting that acceptance, from a publishing company, it does something. It makes people feel more connected. So, you're never going to feel super comfortable in the beginning. I go back and I look at my videos from 3 years ago and I want to burn my phone, because the cringy stuff that I posted that I thought was good content was not good content. I probably didn't make content that I'm proud of, that I would even consider resharing, until about a year and a half ago. So I spent like a year and a half on TikTok, kind of floundering, right? Not, making content that did okay, but that I wouldn't post now if I were to do it again. And I've heard that from pretty much every creator on TikTok. It definitely takes some time getting comfortable. And that's the main cause of me not being happy about my content from 3 years ago. I wasn't comfortable. I didn't, I didn't have an audience that I knew that I was talking to. I was just kind of doing what I thought people wanted to see. Once I realized, oh, I can feel comfortable, I'm going to pretend that I'm my own audience. I'm going to talk about things that I find interesting. What would I want to see on TikTok? That's when I got it. That's when I started making videos that I'm proud of. So I think that, just working through it, the more you make videos and the more you watch videos, the more comfortable you get. And nobody makes perfect videos. In fact, a lot of the overproduced is a negative way to say it, but a lot of the produced videos, the highly edited videos, they don't tend to do as well. TikTok is a platform that rewards being real. Unlike, a lot of people will say Instagram is no longer as great as TikTok, because you see the photoshopping on Instagram and there's a lot of backlash against that. Whereas TikTok, it's more difficult to Photoshop. You're filming a video, right? So there's a lot more realness there, and people respect that. So if you do, for example, stutter over a word, or, maybe have a blemish or something, people don't mind. They actually might find it more endearing. Also, recording practice videos are fine. I sometimes will film a video like 5 times, save all my drafts, and then come back to an hour later and look at which one I like best. There's no shame in making several versions of the same video and then choosing the best one. But the more you do it, the more it becomes natural to you. Now, if you are somebody who goes, I just can't picture myself talking in front of a camera for whatever reason, public speaking is the biggest fear in the world. So if you feel like that, you are not alone. Probably half the people I talk to do feel that way, where they say, you're not getting me in front of a camera. It's not my personality. I don't feel comfortable with it. There are many channels that don't include talking heads. Like I mentioned before, the lady who animates her book, right? I have another friend who also makes animations. Actually, I have a second channel for my my marketing company. And about half of our videos are B-roll. So we'll do marketing tips with B-roll footage. So we have, actors, basically who filmed this public domain video, and then we put text over it and we do voiceover over it saying, here are 3 ways to market your books. And you just see a video of like a woman walking through a bookshop, right? Actually, maybe this would be a good time to show you that example. I'll show some examples now. So I'm going to switch over to my phone here and show you TikTok. Show you a couple different examples of what I'm talking about here. All right, can everybody see my screen? You see my home screen there? I think so, right? We're good. If you don't see it, just shout out, give me a little chat message. All right. So, all right, thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, so I'll show you, this is a talking head, an example. Well, all right. So first off, I want to point out top left, do you see those drafts? I have 113 drafts there. So this is viewable only to me. And these are all the videos, all the different versions of videos that I filmed that I just didn't post because they weren't good enough. So when I say you can film a bunch of times and not post them, and this is only one device. I have a bunch of drafts on my other devices. So you can film multiple times and you don't have to worry about that. Next, I'll show you an example of a short video, because you can do like a short video, like a 20 or 30-second video. So this is a talking head short video that got 855,000 views this time. I posted a few times. It's gotten a few million views over the multiple times that I post. And that's another thing. You can totally recycle content. You can totally post things multiple times. But just to show you an example of a talking head, here's one that I did on good grammar.
When your partner confesses that they cheated on you, I know it can be tempting to ask with who, but don't. Instead ask with whom. Unfortunate circumstances doesn't just erase the need for good grammar. When your partner confesses that
So just, you see how simple that was? It was just one joke, 20 seconds. It got people's attention though. So people see that and then they go, let's click on our bit.ly. So they click on my bit.ly, and that is where they're taken to all the things that I could want them to do, whether it's checking out one of our books, talking to me, any of that, it's all there. Another kind of thing where I mentioned before, the intro videos where you kind of introduce your audience to who you are. I'm not going to show you this whole video because it is about a minute, but just so you could see.
I earned my doctorate for one reason and one reason only. When I was a kid, my father and I.
Okay. Well, it won't let me mute it. If I could have muted, I would have showed you. I am not really wearing makeup there, right? I'm just talking to the camera as if it was talking to my friends, right? I'm just kind of having fun. You don't need to. I've also made a version of that video with the makeup on, with a black background behind me, with all the, more production stuff. It fell flat. It got a couple hundred views. But once I re-recorded it in my living room, just talking with my hair up, that's when it did well. So don't feel like you need to overproduce. I'll also show you a couple B-roll footage kind of videos that we've done. So this is for our marketing company. So this is, if you're like camera shy, you can do a video kind of like, oh, wait, I was going to show you the one video, but there's let's see. I'll just do this one.
Get ready to write a successful PR pitch. Always personalize your message. You are talking to other human beings. Make it a story. Share a bit more about yourself and your passions. Keep it concise. Always start with the most relevant information. If this sounds too complicated, we can do it for you. Send us a DM to learn more. Get ready to.
All right, we were a little laggy there, but I hope you get the point. We didn't hire any actors, we didn't hire any voiceover people. We just went to public domain videos, edited it on Canva, and then used a robot voiceover. Usually we would add a trending sound with that. Most of these videos we do. The one with the 10.1 thousand followers has a trending sound, and I think that's partially why it got that many views, but there's a foul language word in the song, so I'm not going to play that one for you, but it's another decent example of like using B-roll footage and not actually using a talking head. And there are so many examples of this. I'll just very quickly go to show you how you can.
Can you tell us what a trending sound is, Marissa?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Keep using that. I just want to make sure people know what that is.
Absolutely. So I'll show you really quick on my phone. When you go to upload a video, you see where it says add sound right at the top. And you see how some of these sounds have little blue music notes next to them. Those are trending sounds. Those songs are popular on the app. And when people use them, you have a better chance of people finding you, because I'll show you this. Let's see. I think this
Harley Quinn before turning evil.
Okay. Okay. Do you see how at the bottom here, there's a little music note under my hashtags that says Melanie Martinez? When you click on that, you can see Melanie's song play date, and you can see that 2.9 million videos have used that sound. Now, when you have 2.9 million videos with that sound, it means a lot of people are searching for it. They love that song. But if you manage to rank at the top of that, if you're like one of these first few videos here that use that sound, you're going to get a lot more views because people are searching for that sound. They're going to see all these videos when they click on that sound. And actually, usually you can scroll down. I think my internet isn't great. We're having some storms here, but usually if you're within the top, like even 1,000 videos, people will find you, will help your video to rank. I definitely think that's a reason why this video ranked higher or got more views than some of my other videos, because I use that trending sound. So looking for trending sounds when you post a video, again, you just hit that little add sound button. Let's say we're going to use Cool Kids. It's a great song. Just hit the little check mark. Okay, and now it's in my video. So when I record, that song will be in there. You'll probably want to edit the volume if you're going to speak, but at least now you have that sound in there. And those are trending sounds. Oh, perfect. Okay, I'm going to go back to my presentation. I'll do some questions and then I'll go back to the presentation. Okay, so we have a question from Bob. Does TikTok use audiobook samples? I don't think that they do. I haven't seen it. Actually, one time I made a video and I said, when I go to the club, I like to request the DJ play my favorite audiobooks instead of the Hot 100 songs. And I used an excerpt from Audible. I just, it was a public domain. That was the thing. I used a public domain sound from Huck Finn. So that's the way I've gotten around doing it, is using public domain sounds, but I had to record on another device and then upload it. It wasn't like a trending sound or anything. So if you were going to use an audiobook sample, if it's your own audiobook, go for it. You can probably record on another device and then put it on there. But if you're going to use somebody else's book, just make sure it's public domain. Okay, so Bob also asked if I'm new to TikTok and talk about, where'd it go? If I'm new to TikTok and talk about my writing process, this may take 3 to 7 minutes. Is that acceptable for a newbie? I'll tell you how I would do it. First off, TikTok has a cutoff of 3 minutes. Your videos cannot be longer than 3 minutes. They won't let you upload a video that's longer than 3 minutes. What a lot of people do when they have a topic that they're passionate about, that they have a lot of things to say about, they'll make it a series. They turn it into parts. And allow me to share my screen once again, because I have a great example here. Okay. So if you want to do a series, there are a few ways. Some people do, like, you see where I write the titles of my videos, like, use good grammar, DC villains, Dr. S, Harley's glasses. Sometimes people will say Harley's glasses part 1, for example, Harley's glasses part 2. That's the old fashioned way of doing it. There's nothing wrong with that. The other way that some people do it is they make collections. So do you see here where I say, did you know, personal stories, ha ha ha, superhero stuff? Those are all multiple parts. So I'll show you what it looks like. You have, did you know?
This is a
Okay. And you see how it says episode 1, episode 2, episode 3. So what I would suggest, Bob, is, if you have multiple parts, say episode 1 of how to publish a book for beginners, episode 2 of how to publish a book for beginners. And you can do it in multiple parts like that, and make it like a series. A lot of people turn these into series. Thinking of some of my friends who do this to show you some examples, but I've seen a lot of great examples of people doing this, but you get it. It's multiple episodes. So what I might do as a beginner, because people's retentions, if they don't know you, they're not going to watch for as long. Maybe start with like 30 seconds to a minute. Episode 1 is like a minute. Episode 2 is like a minute, and then you can go from there. And then once you have more of a following, then you can go up to making, each part like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Okay, so RJ asks, what's the average age for users? Do older persons do it, or is it primarily for younger crowd? Every age that you can imagine is on there. Every type of person, every niche is represented on there. I don't want to say the wrong statistic, but don't quote me on this exactly. I recently saw a stat that was something like half of users on TikTok are over the age of 35. That might be a little bit off, but it's something close to that, a vast majority are not college age or teenagers like people assume. They are, adults. Okay, Valerie asks, do you record on your iPhone or do you need a special camera setup? I record everything.
A lot of people are saying,
on my iPhone 11. No, oh, I'm still sharing my screen. I record everything on my iPhone 11. It's an older phone too, so it's not even the best quality, but I've never needed to use a camera or anything else. And pretty much most of my creator friends do the same thing. We just use our phones, whether it's an Android or an iPhone. A couple people I know they get very fancy and they use cameras, but the vast majority use phones. And that's also, it's the more endearing kind of thing where I showed the video myself with, my hair's down. I mean, my hair's up. I'm not wearing makeup. It's that people they feel like it's more personal. You're watching your friend rather than some untouchable, person that you're never going to meet. So it does more of that showing, hey, we're all people. Okay, Valerie also asked, what do you edit on Canva? Believe it or not, Canva does have an editing platform, and I'm actually going to talk about that on my next slide. So I'll hold that question until the next slide. Isaac asked, as someone who's not a friend of the camera, I'd like to hear some great sources for public domain B-roll stuff. Majority of my TikToks are just for my POV and might show my hands only. Great question on the B-roll. We use Canva. Canva has a whole library of them. I also have a client who uses Pixabay. I find sometimes I'll find them just by Googling free public domain images. There's iStock as well. They have photos as well as videos. But if you're showing your hands a lot and you're showing how you create things, I recommend getting a ring light tripod. I do that too. I am teaching myself how to play the piano, and I've been filming some footage on it that I share on Instagram stories. And it's this tripod, and it holds your camera, and it has a little ring light over it, and it's great for filming your hands. So it's like $20 on Amazon. Really good resource. Tamara asks, how many hashtags should you use, and how do you find the best ones? I always use 3 to 4 hashtags per post. Any more than that, the algorithm's not going to like you. They're going to think you're keyword stuffing. So do 3 to 4. Sometimes even 2 to 3 is fine. And the way that I find them, I'll share my screen again. TikTok does something really cool that I don't know any other platforms that do, not even Instagram. So when we go to,
oh, Skipper's an octopus.
I see what I mean about posting very eclectic topics. I'm trying to find the search. I'm trying to do this without making a lot of.
How did your affair start?
Okay. So you can type in any type of keyword. So let's say, or hashtag, let's say we're going to look for book talk, right? We type that in. And then we go to hashtags, and they will show us all the hashtags related to that and how many views those got. So you see, when we type in book talk, yeah, that's gotten 80.5 billion views. That's pretty popular. But one like book talk tick only got 9,000 views. Probably not the best one to use because not many people are looking at it. Even actually book talk with so many views, it might be a little tough to rank there because there are so many people. So I might go to something like books of TikTok where, yeah, it has 248 million views. That's a lot of people, but it's not as overwhelming as 80.5 billion, But even so, you could use book talk because it at least shows the algorithm what you're trying to rank for. But in terms of people finding you through that hashtag, it's going to be difficult. So I like to actually use some hashtags that are very popular and some that are less popular. So if I were going to post a video right now about a book, I would probably choose book talk to show the algorithm, yeah, this is a video about a book. Books of TikTok because it's popular, but not overwhelmingly popular like book talk. And then maybe something niche. So let's say my book is about the philosophy. Maybe it's a philosophy book. So maybe I would put hashtag philosophy book. And the one that's even less popular, maybe something like book talk bookworm, where, yeah, there's not that many people, but we have a really good chance of ranking. Let's see how many videos there are. See, we have a good chance of ranking among these top videos because there just aren't that many. So I'd like to mix them up between the super popular and the less popular, but still relatively popular. Dana asked how you market picture books. Oh, there, I have a great person that I follow. I hope he's still on here. I can't remember his name. There's this guy who made children's books, but for adults. So they're like, I'm trying to, let me see. Well, you see,
All my friends are
like,
dead.
yeah, I'll show you an example. I haven't seen it from before. Okay, yeah, this is just them reading through their book. So sometimes people just read through their book right on screen. Not great if you want to sell a physical copy of the book, but the fella I was thinking of, he always has these crazy hairstyles, right? He has his hair up in a big pompadour kind of hairstyle, and he has these funny children's books, and he kind of talks about the topic, and he reads a little bit from it, but then at the end, he has like hey, go to my bio to if you want this for your family. That's a pretty good way to do it. All right, so Scotty asks, apologize. You're going to specifically address book talk. Oh, okay. So no, you're not getting ahead of anything. Book talk is just what the community is called. If anybody was on Twitter in like 2010 through 2012, if you remember, there was the am reading and am writing hashtags. They were super popular, super huge. Book talk is the version of this. It's just the reading community, a way to connect with other people in the book community. So, people might type in book talk, and these are the top trending videos of the past couple months in the book talk community of, people posting about their own books or what they're reading. So it's literally just a way to classify. There's pretty much a talk for everything you can think of. So let's see, attorney talk. There's an attorney talk, right? These are all lawyers talking about their profession with other lawyers or with people who are interested in learning more about law, even though they aren't necessarily in that. It's just pretty much I'm sure there's a police talk, there's an art talk, any kind of topic you can imagine. See, here's art talk. These are all artists or people who are interested in art talking about and showing art. So all that means is just those are the trending videos in that community. Tamara asks how you put an interactive URL on your video. Unfortunately, TikTok is like Instagram in the way that you cannot put a link to a video inside the video. The only thing you could do is go to your profile and then under your bio, they have the little thing where you can add a link. So I have my bit.ly there. You can add anything you want to that. Okay, Constance asks, do videos with a talking head work? I'm thinking of a video made from images from a book, for example. Absolutely, Constance. I think you definitely can. And we can even go back to the book talk hashtag and see all these trending videos. So the first one, there's no face in there, right? Like she's just showing the books that she would sell her soul for, right? Because to read for the first time. The second book is a talking head, but it's a green screen. So it's this girl talking. Actually, that's Penguin. Penguin posted that. So it's probably one of their marketing people talking in front of a green screen of a book. This one, again, it's a stack of books. So she's showing her books, her book haul. The next book, that's a talking head. She's talking about her library. So you see, it is pretty, divided. There are both. I do think these, there's another talking head, but there's another stack of books. It's pretty evenly divided on book talk. So you're quite all right to do it that way. L. Duff asks for any recommendations for marketing self-help books. Give free advice or give value. Free advice sounds bad. Give value to people. So, if you have a chapter on, I worked with a client recently and she dealt with generational trauma. So we made a video talking about historically groups that dealt with generational trauma. So for example, if a family member was involved in a genocide, their ancestors might still have that generational trauma. And she talked about that. She made a video explaining how that works and what happens. And then at the, in her bio, when people go to it, they could see her book that talks about that. And, that was just a small excerpt from one chapter, but people saw value in it. And then they could learn more about it by going to her book. Yeah, so that's one example. It's a very deep example, but it's self-help, and it's, she also does like one-on-one consultation, so they can also book a call with her to talk about, those self-help kind of things. Okay, can you post to a book talk from a computer, or do I have to use a cell phone? I would use your phone. I think you technically could use your computer, but you can't film it from your computer. You can only upload. So if you have a video already done, you can technically upload it from your computer. But I like to film inside the app. I think that they have really good editing tools. I personally am a fan of the app. I think it's also easier. It's easier to find you can find your trending sounds. You can't necessarily do that on the computer. So I'm pro phone app wherever possible. All right, I'm going to go back to where did it go? To our presentation. Hold on. Where did it go? Our presentation disappeared, so I'm just pulling it back up.
I can just say real quick while she's doing that, don't forget that Dr. Rissi's Writing and Marketing has an IBPA member benefit. It's 20% off all of their services. So I'll put that again in the chat, but I do want to remind everyone that you get some awesome member benefits. So here we go.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so some of you asked about editing. So here are the slides on that. Yeah, several options for editing. My personal favorite, as I mentioned, is the TikTok built-in video editor. I like this. It's simple. You can easily draft stuff and go back to it. But more than that, and I have no proof to back this up, except that a lot of my friends who have gone viral, and even myself, have seen that a lot of our videos do better when we use the TikTok editor. And that's probably because TikTok likes their proprietary solutions, right? They put out this editing stuff, they put out all these songs and stuff. They want you to use their stuff. They don't want you to use some other app, because at the end of the day, the longer you're on their app, the better it is for them. So they want you to use their stuff. So I do believe that when you use their editor, it's better for you algorithmically. You're going to likely rank higher and be seen by more people. Having said that, there are other options for editing. For example, CapCut is a great option for a lot of people who want to do effects. So one of my friends has this great channel where he dresses up as different colors of crayon and makes crayon puns. So, he'll have a red crayon and an orange crayon, and, then they make a yellow crayon, like, it's silly, but to do that, since he's one person playing 3 different crayons, he has to use CapCut, which allows him to almost Dr. Evil himself. You know how in Austin Powers, you had Mike Myers talking to himself as Austin Powers and as Dr. Evil in one shot. CapCut allows you to do that. So you can be talking to multiple versions of yourself at the same time and easily edit them together. So if you want to do real extreme kind of editing, cool effect stuff, CapCut's for you. But for the majority of us, we don't need that. Then there's Canva. So if you're the type where you want that kind of B-roll footage and you don't want to do talking heads, or even if you already use Canva and just kind of feel comfy with it and want to use it, Canva is a great option for that. And then there are a ton of other apps. Personally, I have used Corel Video Editor. I've used iMovie for certain things where, people sent me these really big video files that TikTok's editing couldn't possibly handle. So, I'll use iMovie or Corel Video Studio. I know some people use Sony Vegas, which is super expensive. I wouldn't purchase it just for these purposes, but if you already have it, great. But I do recommend the TikTok video editor for most people. One other option that I also really like, that one video that I showed about if you have say whom versus whom, the grammar video, I edited that with the Instagram video editor, because their captions are unparalleled. They have really cool big captions. If you recall in that video, I had big lettering say, with everything I was saying, they allow you to put those big letter captions in there. And that's a feature that TikTok hasn't yet done, but they are rolling it out. They recently rolled out other fonts. So, but if you do want like big lettering, Instagram is good for editing that. You can do that right on the reels. Also, speaking of Instagram, I very rarely don't post my TikToks to Instagram. I worded that weirdly. What I mean to say is when I post something to TikTok, I typically also post it to Instagram. It just makes sense. You're getting your content out there to more audiences. It can't hurt. It takes 2 extra seconds. They actually have a button that you could just have toggled on all the time, so it just automatically shares to both. I highly recommend that. You can share it to your stories or to reels. I usually share it to my stories, sometimes to my reels, but for something that takes really no extra time but gets you a lot of extra views, it's usually worth it. You also do the same thing with like Twitter, YouTube Shorts. I post everything on all those platforms. All right, now if we're thinking about strategy, get ready to reach thousands of people, hopefully millions, but we'll start with thousands. And we've talked about a lot of these through your wonderful questions already, so we can, some of the stuff we've already covered. But first off, quality content. When I say quality content, a lot of the time people think, oh boy, I need to get the special camera, I need to have the studio lighting. No, when I say quality content, I mean content that people are actually going to want to watch. When I look back at 3 years ago, what I thought was quality content of me, in a blazer, speaking all professionally about the books that have changed my life, and go to my website and check out these incredible. It just nobody wanted to watch that. They were boring and stuffy and just quality content is videos that you would want to watch. What's actually going to make people stop scrolling, where they have an infinite amount of videos? What's going to make them want to stop scrolling and look at your video? And usually the answer to that is something that's going to give them value. So whether you're giving them advice, whether you're intriguing them, there's one, I wish I could remember his name. There is a sci-fi writer who I'm following now, where he basically just presents a synopsis of his book, but as if it's happening to you. So yesterday he posted one. He was like, imagine that you're in a world where everybody can only have one child, and you have two. Actually, it's a really bad synopsis, but the point is, he gives like an imagine that you're in this world, and here's this dystopia, and what would you do? And he like asks you, what would you do? But then when you go to his bio, it's a book that he wrote, and you can see what actually happens in the book. And he draws you in. He uses a green screen behind him, so each of them he has like this dystopian landscape behind him, and then he kind of just talks in front of it. Grabs your attention. It's really cool. And he's somebody that if you type in book talk or sci-fi book talk, you'll find a lot of examples of him and people like him. Second is picking high ranked hashtags. We went through that before, using like 3 or 4 hashtags. Trending sounds, we went through that. And then, join in on the TikTok trends and the book talk community. Trends, I'll show you how to find it. I don't necessarily always follow the trends, but I will show you a quick example of how you can easily find some trends. Okay, so oh, you know what? They used to have they changed it. They just changed this. So this page used to be a trending page where they would show you everything that's currently trending, all the, fun new hashtags and stuff that are trending, but they just changed this to now, which is where you have to, I'm not a big fan of this yet, but you have to film yourself making a quick video, and then you can see these other people's videos. But okay, so since they removed the trend feature, basically, oh wait, they are putting it kind of where I didn't search that, where it says Billie Eilish jump entrance. Oh, they say you may like. So these are all trending topics. That's what they did. They moved it here. So these are all trending topics. So if you see must read books, okay, that's something that they're suggesting to me. They're obviously suggesting it to other people because it's a trending topic. Let's click there. Let's join this trend of showing these must read books. This is, clearly a trend of people promoting the books that they think you must read. Okay, they're also saying, oh, here we go, other stuff that they think I might like. Acoustic covers, yeah, they got that right. All right, let's see some people playing some music, right? So these are all things that are trending that they know that people will like. Some of them are a little off. Octopus haircut. I guess that's a trending topic. So that's not something I would necessarily look for, but there you go. Okay. So we got through that pretty quickly just because you guys asked really great questions before.
Expect to get a lot of octopus haircut videos in your timeline now. So
My
enjoy.
goodness, I've never heard of that in my life. That is so silly. They never cease to surprise me with what they put up there. Okay. All right. So here are a couple easy steps or simple steps to make your life easier in the long term. Your strategy. So first is organizing your content. I personally have the Notes app where I keep a running list of video ideas at all times. This morning I was eating breakfast and I had this memory of this time my father took me to the Liberty Science Center, and it was just a nice story that I think people would like to hear. For some reason on TikTok, people love hearing stories about my father. I just posted one about him at Dunkin' Donuts yesterday, and we're at like 7,000 views. TikTok, I don't know. They love my father, but I had this idea because I knew previously when I posted about my father, those videos did pretty well. So I just jotted that down. I have like them in different categories. So that's, a personal family story just to keep engaged. Because like I said, people want to know you. They want to be personal experience. People like people. So that's a personal. Then I might come up with an idea. What's a business idea I could share with people, or a marketing idea I could share with people? I just saw this new trend on TikTok where you film a 3-second video and then you can see other people's 3-second videos. Let's make a video about that, right? So creating those ideas, putting them somewhere where you're gonna have them organized and you can look for them. Step 2 is finding a trending sound that fits. In most cases, you don't always have to have a trending sound. You can sometimes have no sound, just your own voice. But usually I would say in 75% of my videos, I use a trending sound, and then like 25%, I don't use a trending sound. I just have my own voice, just because I don't know. I think the algorithm likes that, the kind of balance, but the trending sounds really do help you with ranking, like I showed before. And then step 3, selecting SEO focused hashtags. I showed that before on there, finding book talk and then going by genres, things like that. And then step 4 is interacting with people like you. So, people on book talk. Maybe if you want to get really niche, I have a client who writes Western American poetry. There's a Western American poetry community on TikTok. He found those people. He also does Western music or country music. I found a community that does that as well. So interacting with people like you, and even people not like you. Like I said, I follow attorneys and scientists and stuff. I'm not an attorney or a scientist, but we get along. They like books in their free time. I enjoy learning about science in my free time. It's all about that community, and maybe they would want to read one of our books one day. Okay, so going viral with the trending sound, we did kind of go over this before. Let's see. Yeah, we talked about all this before, so we're gonna skip this. Okay, pay attention to the numbers, but not too much. To make a video specifically with the intent of getting views, pay attention to key signs that indicate a trending sound or even a trending topic. Sometimes somebody will start talking about something and then it just kind of ripples from there. Other people start talking about it as well. Think about a lot of big news cases. Probably the biggest trend this year, as much as I hate to say it, was the Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp trial. Everybody was talking about it. It was a ripple effect. One person started talking about it and they got a bunch of other people talking about it. I'm not necessarily saying that that's a trend to hop on, but it's just an example of how trends do ripple out and everybody kind of wants to give their 2 cents. And a lot of people did rank highly because they hopped on that trend. So paying attention to numbers, but not so much. Some of my favorite videos got only a few hundred views or a few thousand views. It doesn't mean it was a bad video or anything, and it doesn't mean I'm not going to make more videos like them. It just means it wasn't as popular. But on the other end of the spectrum, like I said about the videos with my father, his videos do so well. The first video I posted with him got like 1 million views. if that didn't happen, I probably wouldn't make as many videos about him. But because that video did so well, I'm like, all right, people like my dad too. Cool. Let's put him on TikTok more and more. So it also can give you a little bit more oomph and a little bit of encouragement and inspiration when you see the numbers and you see that a certain thing that you're doing is working better. Another example is I would sometimes film videos with the black background like this. They do terribly. People don't like that. But then I started using green screen effects. I don't have a green screen. I use this black background, but I use the TikTok in-app. It's called the green screen effect, and I can put any picture I want. So whatever I was talking about, whether I was talking about Squidward, like you saw in that one video, or talking about, Huckleberry Finn, I would put a picture of Squidward or of the book cover of Huck Finn behind me. And now people have a visual aid. They're not just looking at a black background. They helps them to pay attention. So once I realized that through the numbers, okay, I just posted a video about Huck Finn with a black background that got 200 views, and I posted one with the book cover behind me, and that got 50,000 views. I think I know what the thing is here. So definitely looking at certain things and why certain videos get more than others. You'll be surprised. Same thing with the TikToker I talked before. He flips his hair at the beginning of every video. He only learned that by trying different things at the beginning of his videos. Sometimes he would start videos with his hands folded. He tried clapping at the beginning of his videos. None of those worked. Once he started flipping his hair, people started noticing because it was such an odd and intriguing way to do it. This man with this long red hair, it grabs your attention, and he knew it, and he was excited to use that for his video game. Okay. So a few key factors, and we talked about some of these, is number one, watch other videos. That was one of my big mistakes 3 years ago too. It's called social media for a reason. I was posting videos without necessarily watching other people's videos. So I was way off the trends. I'm talking back then, you could only upload video for a minute, but I would just talk with no edits, no trending sounds, nothing for like a minute, because I didn't know what other people are doing. Then once I started engaging and watching other people's videos, I realized, and putting myself in other people's shoes. So, if I watched a video of somebody just talking for a minute straight, I'm getting bored, I'm yawning. But then when I would see somebody doing quick cuts every few seconds, stuff, I'm like, yeah, that does capture my attention. When you watch other people's videos, you notice things that attract you, and you're not in a box. Other people probably have similar thought processes. They'll be the same way. I hate to say it's a numbers game, keep track of other videos, but in some cases it is. If like that one topic I showed before where they said book top tick and it got like 1,000 views. Just people aren't searching for that. So make sure you look for things that people are actually getting traction with, and then get ready to identify trends. So, if the book talk is a trend, right? 2 years ago, book talk was not a thing, but it's caught on enough that now people are regularly posting on it. It's a good trend. I mentioned about the oil performance. Okay. Organic reach. We talked about hashtags. Please make sure you use popular hashtags and narrowed hashtags at the same time, right? So we want to use book talk, which has billions of views, but we also want to use sci-fi book talker, because now that's more niched and it's less popular, and you're going to rank higher because you have less competition. But you need that big anchor keyword of like book talk, so that the TikTok algorithm knows what the heck you're talking about. Yeah, and that's why the hashtags you use should identify your content. Some people have used hashtags just because they're trending that have nothing to do with their content. That's going to hurt you. Don't do that. For example, I've seen authors put like spaghetti challenge or spaghetti prank as a hashtag. It has nothing to do with their book. They're only doing it because it's trending and their video flops because of it. Or if it doesn't flop, if it does actually reach heights because of that, now you have the wrong people watching your video. These aren't people who are interested in books. They're just people interested in the spaghetti prank trend, and they're going to be disappointed when they see your video. Whoops. Yeah, and also experiment with your hashtags. What may work for some may not work for others. So try a few different things yourself and see what works best. I'm talking from personal experience and from what I've read and talked with others about, but different niches work a little bit differently when it comes to hashtags. Test out hashtags also you don't want to use the same hashtags in every video. I've seen some people do that where they basically create a list of 4 hashtags and then they just post those same 4 hashtags in every video. No, I would choose different hashtags for each video because then you're going to be open to a much larger audience. Okay. So I'm gonna go to the Q&A in a second, but just a reminder that TikTok for authors and for publishers is a great way to get your books discovered. TikTok users are highly engaged. They love sharing content and they go onto the app several times a day. Aspiring authors can show off their creative side, add humor, use music that resonates. And the biggest thing to remember is that this platform is about fun and creativity. It is not LinkedIn. It's not about, how many sales can we do from the sales post. It's about fun and connecting, and the sales come because you're having fun, because you're connecting with real people. So that's the end of my presentation, but now I can do some Q&As. I see that Constant asked about offering a discount code on Book Talk. Use code Book Talk. Yeah, I mean, you technically could, but that's pretty salesy. What I've seen work is not doing it, just saying like, hey, check out the link in my bio for my book. And if in the link in your bio, you say something like, hey, use code Book Talk to get 20% off your book, that's fine. But I wouldn't necessarily say it in your video because people don't want to feel directly sold to. It's indirect sales. It's giving them some advice to get them to want to learn more by reading your book or visiting your website or doing, whichever other item you want to get them to. Okay. I don't want to pronounce your name wrong, and you've been leaving such nice messages throughout this. So I'll Nefertiti, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Thank you for being so kind throughout this, by the way. She asks, when you say SEO hashtag, do you mean for searching in TikTok specifically, or will this extend to general search engines? So it's mostly what I'm talking about being in TikTok. So within the TikTok app, people can find this, but there are certain videos that will show up when you Google, just not as highly. TikTok, I don't think is really caught up with the Google SEO yet. It is more about the TikTok app, but kind of like the same way that Pinterest is, right? Pinterest is a search engine. TikTok can be used like that too. So, a great example, actually, last week, Wednesday, Wall Street Journal emailed me because they saw one of my videos that I posted about joining AARP as a person in her 20s. And they were just searching on TikTok for AARP and they just happened across it. So people really do, journalists, this is a journalist from the Wall Street Journal, journalists are using TikTok as a search engine like that. When I actually tried this, I typed up AARP Marissa Schwartz TikTok on Google. My video didn't come up there, or even AARP. Actually, if you type AARP TikTok, some other people's videos come up, but they were clearly searching on TikTok to find people under the usual AARP age. So.
Well, Marissa, I didn't realize that you were such a TikTok celebrity. So I'm very, it's exciting for me to talk to you. Congrats on the hits on your videos, by the way. That's really cool.
Thank you.
I'm sure that that's helped funnel stuff to y'all. And actually, one question I did want to ask, does Dr. Rissi's Writing and Marketing provide like marketing services for TikTok? Like, how does that work with your business?
Yeah, we do. So we have a couple different ways. So the first example is like the self-help person I talked about who does the generational trauma. She films her videos. So she'll film some talking heads, but she's very busy and TikTok isn't necessarily her main priority. Her main priority is working with her clients. So what she does is she sends us these, say 3-minute videos, and then we edited them down for her into like 30 second to 1 minute videos. We add her trending sounds, we put her hashtags in, we write engaging descriptions, and we post them for her. And we work in that way. So that's one way that we work, where people, they feel comfortable talking in front of a camera, but they don't necessarily feel comfortable with all the other stuff. Or not even just feel comfortable, they don't necessarily have time for it. The other way that we work is folks who don't feel comfortable in front of the camera. but they want to be on TikTok, we actually have two things that we do. The first is we can definitely do those B-roll videos. We do that for a few people, but we do usually say, it doesn't necessarily do as well as a personal video. So there's one example, they're called Angel Watch, and we film their videos for them. So myself and a couple members of my team, they sent us their watches, and we film like 3 videos a week for them, just using their product, and we film the videos, we upload them for them. So if you're looking for a talking head, but you don't want to be the face of it, we do have 3 team members, Brianna, Lisa, and myself, that film videos for our clients as well.
Awesome. And I wanted to ask, because IBPA has a lot of independent publishers members. So authors I can see being on TikTok, but should independent publishers just ask their authors to be on TikTok, or should indie publishers themselves be on TikTok? And then what would be their videos like, I guess, in general?
Yeah, I think indie authors being on, first off, it doesn't hurt for all those people to be on TikTok. I think it's a great platform. It's a great way to communicate and socialize. So I think that all of them can and should be on TikTok. But if you feel it's too much of a time commitment or something like that, and you're a publisher, what even we do at Gen Z Publishing is we work with influencers. So, we'll reach out to book talk influencers and say, hey, would you like our book for free plus a small incentive, to read the book and give your honest review of it for for your audience? And a lot of the time they'll say yes, they'll read the book, and they'll post a review if they like it. And that's always a really cool thing. So there, you can do that cold outreach. Just go through TikTok and look. There's some people on like websites like Upwork and Fiverr, but I don't know that their audiences are always super organic. I like finding them myself on TikTok and saying, hey, we really like your content. We see that you've reviewed fantasy books before. If you're interested in reading our fantasy book, here's the book for free. Please, feel free to read it and review it for your audience. So that's a really cool way to do it as a publisher. As an author, it really depends on your personality type. I know authors who talk about the writing process and what inspires them. I know authors who talk about the actual synopsis of each book. There are so many different ways that authors can promote, and even publishers, talking about all your different titles and stuff. But I think the biggest thing for publishers a lot of the time is working with influencers, reposting videos that your authors have done. Taking, so let's say one of your authors talks about the synopsis, you take that video, you repost it to your own, or even in my case, I'm talking about a whole bunch of stuff. I'm being eclectic, I'm being silly, I'm talking about, silly grammar rules and stuff. And then in my bio, I have, hey, reach out to me kind of thing. So you can do any of those.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This was excellent information. I do hope everyone takes advantage of your member benefit, and just even today's information was really great. So thank you. And IBPA in general appreciates you providing this member benefit.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks everyone who watched this at some other time.